Hey everyone, it's Welonz back with The Witcher 3, not quite just yet. If you are so excited you can't wait to see The Witcher 3, then skip over this video and feel free to move on to the next one. But some of you have requested for me to talk a little bit about my thoughts on the novels and watch the cinematic trailers to The Witcher 3 first, so that's what we're gonna be doing in this video. As those of you who've watched me play The Witcher 1 and 2 will know, I've been reading all the novels alongside playing the first two games. And as of this video, I pretty much read all of the novels already. A lot of you guys told me that I should finish at least The Lady of the Lake before starting Witcher 3, because there's a big plot point that I guess they just casually reveal in Witcher 3. I'm not sure if there's going to be anybody watching this video or my playthrough who is blind to The Witcher 3 and doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I guess I'll just not say it right now and wait until it comes up in the game first. But I'm just letting you know that I know about the thing now, and it's like, what? Anyway though, I think reading the books really added to my enjoyment of the Witcher experience. Let's call it that. Not just the games or just the books, but like everything combined. I feel like it's essential to really fully grasp what The Witcher is about, and I couldn't imagine going through the games without them. So often in the games, they would make references to something from the novels, and it's really nice to be able to get them, even though Geralt himself is supposed to have lost his memories. It's been a really long time now, so I don't know if anyone remembers or knows, but I actually started playing Witcher 1 after I finished reading The Last Wish. And reading The Last Wish is why I became interested in and excited to play The Witcher 1. That game is a little bit dated, as we all know, so without having read that, I'm not sure if I would have been able to push through to the whole game. The books really helped reinforce my general understanding of the Witcher world too. When you first get dropped into the game, it's like, what the heck is a Scoia'tael, Nilfgaard, like who's Radovid, Stennis, Foltest, Demavend? There's just so many terms and places, locations, and people that I think it's extremely difficult to keep track of, even if you have read the books. However though, I think because I've done that, read the books, I might experience or see certain areas of the game differently from somebody who has not done these things. Off the top of my head, well actually it's not, because I wrote this down just to make sure I know what I'm saying. There's two main areas that I think are gonna potentially be quite different. Number one, Ciri and Yennefer. These two are characters who have appeared extensively in the books but haven't shown up in the game at all so far. Pretty sure we'll be meeting them in 3, and I feel like because of the novels, I've built up some expectations of what these people are like. Especially true for the romance department in regards to Yennefer too, because if you go by the book canon, I think it's pretty black and white and clear as day that Geralt and Yennefer were fated to be together, they were meant to be, and nobody even comes close to what they have. However though, if you only play the games, then the one woman who's been in Geralt's life that you're familiar with is Triss. And suddenly it's all like, who the hell is this Yennefer woman? So I think if you read the books before playing, you'll likely vastly favor Yennefer. And if you've played the games first, you'll end up favoring Triss. As for me, some of you have asked who I prefer even before I started playing The Witcher 3, and I'm kind of in a weird spot where I read the books alongside playing the games, so it's not really one way or the other. But like, to be honest, I don't really have an opinion on Yennefer or Triss. I don't care for either too much. I have some familiarity with both, so maybe on some level I'll be starting The Witcher 3 on a blank slate here, and we'll see what happens in the romance department as the game goes on. The second thing that I think is interesting that I learned from the books is about Nilfgaard. Again, I think it's possible that book readers, and game players have really different impressions of what Nilfgaard is like. Because playing the games, especially because Geralt is from the north, you really get this sort of impression that Nilfgaardians are cruel, brutal, and have no redeeming qualities, and they're the source of all evil. Especially because we've never gotten a chance to meet the Emperor in the first two games. It's really easy to just believe blindly that, oh, he's this sort of evil mastermind, big bad villain, invading the north, taking everything that's ours and claiming it to be their own. And for the most part, I think this impression of Nilfgaard isn't necessarily incorrect, but there were a few chapters that focused on the Nilfgaardian Emperor in the books that made me change my mind about that a little bit. In the saga, literally everybody and their mother wants to get their hand on Ciri, and Nilfgaard is no exception, so some of the Nilfgaardian lackeys, because they couldn't find the real Ciri, they brought the Emperor a random fake girl pretending to be Ciri in hopes of pleasing him. And, by the normal impression of what people think Nilfgaard and the Nilfgaardian Emperor is like, maybe he would just kill off this random girl and be done with it, but that wasn't really what happened. He didn't do anything to her and was actually really kind to the girl. And seeing that, it's like, oh, he's not exactly this evil demon that Nordlings believe he is. I mean, to the Nordlings, he's still a pretty bad person because he's invading their home, but he's not, he has a human side too. It's not like he tortures and kills babies in his spare time for fun. No. And because The Witcher 3 starts off with a Nilfgaardian invasion in the north, I think we might finally get a chance to meet Emir for real, and maybe we'll learn firsthand from the games that, oh, he's not such a bad guy. I don't know. Our exposure to him in the games is exceedingly little. We've only known about him through his lackeys. So it's gonna be interesting if we get to see him and learn firsthand what he's like. Especially because he should be the antagonist in the story, because Nilfgaardians are evil and all Nilfgaardians are our antagonists. Yeah, so in a nutshell, I feel like reading the books have definitely given me an additional perspective on things that happen in the Witcher games that I otherwise wouldn't have. And it's always interesting to see characters that you've already read about appear in the games and vice versa. After reading the saga though, I do feel like there's a really obvious thread that I'm pretty sure The Witcher 3 is going to expand off of. In a nutshell, the saga involved Geralt being separated from Ciri, the child of destiny who is supposed to be crucial in saving the world, and so he spends the whole time looking for her. And on Ciri's solitary travels, because of her magical elder blood powers, she ends up meeting the Wild Hunt, who chase her from world to world, and by the last time they met, they basically ominously told her, "We'll never stop looking for you. We will find you no matter where you go." But then the books end without really resolving that plot thread. So considering how the subtitle of The Witcher 3 is The Wild Hunt, I think it's pretty obvious that this plotline is gonna be continuing. Maybe we'll get a hint by watching the cinematic trailers to The Witcher 3. Let's move on to that. I'm trying to imagine what it's like to have seen this trailer when it first came out. Okay, I'm a fan of Witcher 2, and I played it back when it first came out in 2011, and now it's 2014, 2015? The Witcher 3 is just about to come out. CD Projekt Red comes up with this trailer called Killing Monsters.
By order of the Emperor of Nilfgaard, for the murder of the wounded, looting, cannibalism, you are hereby sentenced to death by hanging or torment.
Don't meddle. Take the reward and let's go.
Help me!
Knew you witches wouldn't scorn imperial gold. Tough hunt.
Tougher than yours, that's certain. Evil is evil. Lesser, greater, middling, makes no difference.
Can't fit me.
Bring her down. Do it my way. You like that, you big
What? Really? Is Geralt just gonna...
The degree is arbitrary, the definition's blurred. If I'm to choose between one evil and another, I'd rather not choose at all.
Just make it quick, Geralt.
There we go.
What the?
Close your eyes.
Hit him!
Oh!
What are you doing?
Killing monsters.
Ah! Wow, I think that was a really good representation of what the Witcher series and what Geralt is like. And that was only 2 minutes long. The official definition of a Witcher is someone who is emotionless, does the job, gets out of there, boom, and that's it. But throughout our journey, it's very evident that a Witcher is nothing like that. So I liked how they showed that, oh, is Geralt just a cold-blooded badass killer? But then no, he turns around and he saves a girl anyway. But at the same time, did the girl actually commit all those crimes listed in the beginning? Did Geralt do a good thing by saving a poor innocent woman, or did he let a killer loose? We don't know, and that's how The Witcher always is. One other thing that I noticed right away is that the graphics are different. Obviously, it's been a few years since The Witcher 2, so yeah, of course, there's been an upgrade. The faces look a lot more real, but it's not just that. The art style is overall different. Because you know how The Witcher 2 felt very fantasy-like with the bloom and everything? This one feels more realistic in a way. It seems like the art style for The Witcher 3 is more similar to what The Witcher 1 started with. Interesting. Okay, well, let's move on to A Night to Remember. Yeah, we know this already. So did these trailers not come out before the game came out then, if there's reviews already?
Wolves asleep amidst the trees, bats all a-swaying in the breeze. But one soul lies anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and wraiths.
Nice tune. Been a while since I heard it last.
Folk have forgotten it.
Got other things on their mind.
Things like me.
They paid me for you.
Oh.
In times past, no amount of coin would convince a Witcher to take this contract.
Times have changed.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, Geralt's face looks a little different. Medallion vibrating. Magic or danger? Oh, the dust made it so she appeared. Oh my god. Oh. Oh.
One slice you cut and dice you eat, you uphold. Eat you whole.
This trailer, Geralt's face seemed a little bit different. It almost seemed like a real human. I don't know what was up with that. It showed Geralt cutting off I think it was a Striga? I'm not sure because she died in the sunlight, so I assume, I don't know if other monsters die in the sunlight too. Some monsters of vampiric origin maybe? Anyway though, he amputated her. I wonder if that's something that we could do in the real game. The graphics were really nice here, but I don't think it's an engine, so I'll just treat it as something nice to look at. And there was one more trailer called The Sword of Destiny, but I read that there might be spoilers in it. I don't think it's anything super incriminating, but to err on the side of caution, I think I'm just gonna skip over that one, and it's time to move on to the next video for The Witcher 3.